Hi, katzcradul here. I have a lot going on today. It's a busy Saturday. I'm continuing my freezer clean out to try to get ready for when new food comes in this summer. I'm thawing out some soup. This is corn and sausage soup, which we'll have for lunch today. And I found a container that says meat sauce for lasagna. Needs a small can of tomato sauce added to it, which I will do and make some lasagna for supper. I found some old vanilla wafers that I crushed up to give to my farm animals. But right now, I need to make some milk because we only have a half gallon to get us through the weekend, which probably should be enough, but I'm going to go ahead and add to it right now and show you how I like to do that. I use milk from the LDS Cannery, and you can see that this label is upside down, and most of my cans look like that because the commercially applied bottom that comes on those cans is easier to get off than the one that you put on at the cannery. This one is applied with, you've probably seen how it's done, a little wheel that you push back and forth and you seal that can, but the bottom is much easier to get off, so all my cans look like they're upside down. And here's how I do it. I have this really cool pitcher that has this plunger looking thing on it. And it fits in my pitcher just like that. I ordered it from Emergency Essentials. I've had it a couple of years. I really like it. And I noticed it's still in their catalog for $8.95. And I think it's worth the money. And I'm going to show you how it works. I'm going to hand the camera off to Prepper A if you'll just focus right there. I know that I want to make 2 quarts of milk. So what I like to do is put really some warm milk in the bottom, like that. It's not boiling, even though I use my boiling water kettle. It's just very warm. I don't like to use hot water out of my tap. I see a lot of people do that, and if you're comfortable with that, that's okay. Back up just a little bit. But I don't know what, my water heater is very old, and I don't know what's in the bottom of it, but I've seen when people pull a water heater, and I know there's sediment in it, and I just don't want that. So I use purified water that I've heated some other way. And I know I want to make 2 quarts, and for the powdered milk that comes from the LDS Cannery, that's 1.5 cups of the powder. Okay, this is a half-cup measuring cup I'm using here. And I'm down to the bottom of this can. I can put just a little bit more. There we go. So I've got water in the bottom. Now I'm going to put a little more water on top of that milk. So I've sandwiched the powdered milk in the water. The reason I do that, I used to put the powdered milk just in the bottom of the pitcher, but then when I put the plunger in, the milk would cling to the bottom of the plunger. So if I put water first, then a little milk, then a little more water, then I've got, I keep that sticking from happening. Now this is different than mixing powdered instant milk that you get from the grocery store because you don't have to use warm water with that. You can use cold and it will mix just fine. Notice I didn't fill this pitcher all the way up because I want to give myself plenty of room to plunge that powdered milk around. And you can see some bubbles forming, it kind of foams up. When I'm sure I've got it mixed, yep, and there's very little on the plunger, then I go ahead and fill it up. I probably don't have enough in this pitcher, in this water kettle, so I'm going to use cool water from my water filter pitcher. There we go, and I'll filter a little more water to fill this up. I don't know why that's sticking there. So that's mixed up. Then what I do is I put this pitcher just like this in my refrigerator to cool it. And here's how I typically do it. I'm down to just 1/2 gallon of store-bought milk, and you can certainly drink this by itself. It's very good. But we like it mixed half and half with fresh milk. So what I usually do is after I get this mixed up, I put it in the refrigerator to cool. I would take a whole gallon of milk. I always save the last gallon carton I used and just rinse it out. And if I don't have time to get to it right away, I just put this empty carton back in my refrigerator so it's not growing bacteria. So let's just pretend I have a whole gallon here. What I would do would be to open this new milk and pour half of it in here. So you would be looking at 2 gallons that were half full of store-bought milk. Then I would mix up 2 pitchers of this. I would pour it into one. This is the oldest carton. I would use my perma pen and put an X on that, not on this one. And my family knows to drink this one first. Then when this is gone, we throw this carton away. So it's gone. And then this should be the only one left in the refrigerator, and we would drink this one. The next time I go to the store, I would buy a gallon of milk. We would have saved this carton, and then the process just starts over. Okay? Real easy. No question. Right prepare, you know that if it has the X, that's the one to use first. And when it's all gone, we throw the carton with the X away. It's a good system that works for us. I hope you'll try it. Some people ask about the difference between the milk that comes from the cannery because they notice there's a difference in the commercially prepared instant milk you buy at the store. I don't have any instant milk, or I would show you. If I poured the 2 out on the plate, the one that comes from the cannery is very powdery. The one that you buy at the grocery store looks like little milk BBs, but even smaller than that. They're little beads of milk. If I were to blow them, they would fly away. You know, the little beads would roll all over the counter. This would just be like if you blew powder. It was very powdery. I like this a lot. I like that it's a lot less expensive than the instant milk you buy at the store. Pound for pound, it gives you more milk. But this is just a good way to make it. I do love this pitcher. It makes it very easy. If you have one of these, what do they call these?
I think it's called an emulsifier.
An emulsifier or
something like that.
A blender on a wand. I can't think of what they're called. Immersion blender. There you go. You could stick this down in your pitcher, any kind of pitcher, and mix up that milk very quickly, and then do the same thing that I just did. I just like this pitcher a lot because I think it blends up perfectly well, and I can just put it right in the refrigerator. So that's your tip for the day. Easy way to mix up your powdered milk and not get lumps. Cat's cradle and
Prepare.
Thank you, girl.